Hi, this is Chase, and today we're going to be talking about my Inktober drawing for Vessel. This is day 4 of Inktober, and the only one thus far that I've recorded my progress of actually drawing. Um, so the idea behind it was that this was someone being possessed. So I have a character that can control like shadowy kind of tentacle things. Um, and in order to take control of someone's body, they can kind of wrap around you and influence your mind. So we'll get into this. It's playing at 2 times speed, so have fun with that. And also, I know the camera quality is terrible. I'm not used to doing anything like this. I shot my journal actually on my phone, but this I shot with the camera that I'm using here, which is the Logitech camera. And it definitely doesn't capture a whole lot in terms of drawing and things like that. So you'll definitely see that it's pretty blurry and it doesn't pick up colors very well either. But I thought I may as well try
Just
and give
do it!
something like this, like a draw with me
Make
thing,
your
a
dreams
go.
come true!
At least it's something to put out, and at least it's something for me as well to like kind of look back on and um get advice even on what I'm doing wrong, because you can definitely see some pretty major flaws with how I'm coloring things and the amount of streakiness that's going on there. So I'll press play on this. So first, I think I went in with a triple, no, it was a E11 by Copic. All my markers that I use are probably Copic.
Dollar
Um,
bills, y'all.
so just kind of like outlining the main areas and just getting a start on like mapping down some shading, things like that. And I noticed the camera didn't pick up the lighter colors that well. So I went with something a little bit darker to start with, which I normally don't do. Normally, I would go in with like a E00 or something. So this is already out of my comfort zone. Um, and I don't have a lot of complementary colors to actually go with the E11. Because it's quite a like a orangey tone, and I don't really have. I bought the skin tone set by Copic, and it comes with like 6 markers, 6 or 4 markers, which is not really that. You can't really do a lot with 6 markers. Especially blending wise, unless you're doing someone with a lot lighter skin, such as like the E000 or something like that. Um, where you can put a couple of like pinky tones. But seeing as though this is already pretty orange, a pinky tone, unless you're going for a specific look, doesn't really work that well. Um, so yeah, you can see the camera is like struggling to focus. Um, you can already see those streaks are very obvious. Um, and I'm trying to give the face dimension by bringing the stroke that way on the face. I'm not sure if that's actually correct, and I should be doing that, but um, I'm trying to give the face a little bit more dimension and try to make it look not so flat. So yeah, I'm just kind of like putting down a rough covering, I guess, of all over the face. Um, if you're wondering why I'm not using the thick end of this, it's because the marker itself is an old marker. I just keep refilling it with the refill packs. So, and in order for that to happen, I need to take out the chisel nib. So it doesn't really absorb ink that much because I usually don't have it tipped to that side. what have we got? E33. So it's sand color. And again, I chose this because I was limited by what would actually pick up on camera. And you can see this is a different kind of tone. It's got that weird kind of much more brown tone than the orange. So it doesn't exactly match the E11 very well. I think I could have done a lot better with how I laid down this E33 as well in the color sand. Um, I feel very strange about how I was using the chisel nib as well for trying to do details. Um, I guess I don't like swapping around too much. I'm doing just shading underneath the neck, even though I don't think in this instance it was a good idea. I'm bringing up the E93 in T Rose, which is that pinky tone I was talking about, to give a bit of color to the face. I was using this a lot to try and give a idea of bloodshotty kind of eyes, like not completely, you know, not completely clear kind of eyes. And just a little bit more like pink tone to the skin, I guess. Soon as the head's tilting up that way, I should have taken a reference photo, and done the lighting from that. This complete thing was from imagination. So I can see why some of the features and things like that are not as anatomically correct as they should be, and neither is the lighting. Yeah, I usually put a bit of kind of pink tone at the tip of the ears. It's just a habit of mine. I don't know why I do it, but I guess because it looks kind of cute. Um, and yeah, I'm well aware that the angle is strange on this. E000 for more color in the eye, and it was doing some very bizarre things with coloring. Oh geez. R95. I wanted to make the eyes red to get the idea of like possession. Um, Even though the eyes are so small in this because it's supposed to be like shock and horror kind of elements, um, you didn't really get to see the color of the eye very well. Um, I was also going to do a bit of like a nosebleed effect. But I didn't actually end up doing that. I thought I didn't know enough about how the blood would run down the philtrum. So I left that alone. What is that? E15 or 18 for eyebrows. I like to make eyebrows a lot darker than the hair color. Um, so this is like my go-to color. um, and I didn't put any definition in the eyebrows, I don't think, regrettably, so that's something that's not fun. So I was taking this red. Oh no, that's brown. I was taking this brown just around all the corners, like, and yeah, you really can't see that that's brown or that dark red. They look about the same on this camera. It doesn't really pick it up very well. And yeah, it is kind of zooming in and out in weird ways. Um, I wonder what I'm doing next. I can't remember what I did. I think I realized that I actually need to color in the neck or more of the neck. Oh, see, that's painful. What, did I pick up the pink again? Yes, I picked up a pink to kind of color the inside of the mouth, which I flirted with the idea of doing a completely black inside the mouth, or maybe some like, or filled with like the black swirlies. Um, but I didn't end up going for it because I, again, wasn't confident in my ability to pull that off. I probably could have done a sketch the over this and tried to see if it would work, but it was late at night and I had already filmed another iteration of this, and uh, realized that the hands on the former work were not correct. So there's actually two versions of this drawing. There's this one, and there's one where the character is being suffocated by these tentacles. Again, adding a bit of pink to the tips of the ears for just no reason at all, really. I'm not sure where I'm grabbing. I think it's A11. I wish I showed all of the actual things. What are they? Like the reference numbers? Oh lord. You cannot see that at all. But like all the references every time I picked up a pen, but you know, I'm not used to this sort of thing. So, I mean, this particular depiction of this character is not anyone that I've written about or drawn before. The character that you cannot see and who is controlling the tentacles is the one that is my character that I draw quite frequently. I didn't. I played around with a couple of ways to lay out this particular prompt. I didn't come to one that I really enjoyed, so I thought I'll just finish something, at least because it's Inktober. At least if you finish something, you have it there. Like Jake Parker himself said, "Finish, not perfect." In order, like, to at least complete Inktober. And I mean, for the most part, your learning is done within the first like 10, 15 minutes, maybe half an hour, where you're actually doing the sketch, apparently, according to Ethan Becker. So, and I can see that. That would be the most important part. As you're coloring, unless you want to work on coloring specifically, you're not learning as much as you would doing another sketch. I'm doing yellow for the hair because I didn't know what color to do the hair, so I was like, yo, why not yellow? And I was going to draw different hair too for this, but I ended up just going with what was already there. As I said, it was quite late at night, and I had previously drawn this once before, like the different iteration, and I decided just to stick with it. The bright yellow hair. I also didn't really know what to do with like the teeth area. I think that's pretty obvious that I just left that because I wasn't sure what to do. Read out. I'm showing you yellow 38 to layer on top of yellow, the other one, 17 maybe. And I also later on go in with orange color as well, just to give the hair a little bit more definition. I color hair really weirdly, and I don't think I've done a good job of the hair here, just because it's such a strange shape that doesn't really make sense, because I had planned on redoing it. Um, and you honestly can't see the eye on the left side either, which I realized quite a bit later because it looks a little weird like without that eye part being colored in. And yeah, I don't realize that I'm coloring off screen a lot of the time, especially in the hair part and the lower part of the neck, like chest area. Even though it does cut off around there, it just doesn't show it quite that well. I couldn't get my camera in the right place either, to be honest. So that's why it's pretty skewed too. I wish I knew a little bit more on why things didn't work and did work here, but I'm not as skilled as a lot of the other artists that I watch, uh, like drawing videos of. I'm sure it's hard to start as well, so I mean, if you don't start, you kind of never will learn as well. So that's why I'm at least starting something, at least doing like this at all is beneficial for me. Here's where I realized that the eye was not colored in, so you couldn't see it, but you still can barely see it anyway. Good times. It's drawn pretty strangely and pretty small as well. I'm going in with the black because I had enough. I was like, yep, I consider this to be done. Just go in with the black. I should have, in hindsight, added a bit more shading to it, especially the face area. As you can see, I didn't do that. Oh, wait, maybe. Oh, okay, no. That's the black tentacle on his cheek. Again, I should have probably put shading underneath where the tentacle was so that you could kind of get a grasp of like an actual shadow. But once I put that black down, it's you can't really do much in terms of shading around it, especially on the face. You don't want it to go muddy. So I kind of left that alone afterwards. Down on the neck, I was happy to blend things out and put more color in it because it's kind of like a more muddy kind of area. So I didn't particularly care too much if it was harder to read rather than on the face where it's a little bit more important. I think I put a bit of red in the bottom of the neck area in this towards the end, just to suggest that it's getting tighter or that it has been tight already. Yeah, there we go. I picked up the crimson and I think I decided against that later because it was just too bright for the rest of it, and I don't think that I don't know. I wasn't really sure about it, I'll be honest. So I went in with a darker red to try and even that out a bit and make it look a little less out there. Yeah, I'm definitely realizing that I should have done something with the mouth and the teeth, but I think I need to fix that in Photoshop or something, or at least the sketch itself. I really should have done something about that because anatomically, that's not how teeth or a mouth works. But again, I did this from imagination, not from a reference, which was my first mistake. Here's buffing out some of the like color, making it a little bit more muddy kind of thing. Doing a bit of like rough kind of shading. Maybe I missed a bit there. I don't know what I'm doing with that. Oh, I'm going around the edges of the mouth with black And it was a choice. Again, because the anatomy doesn't work, what I'm trying to do doesn't work either. That top lip should not have been lined black either, I don't think. I don't know if I'll do any more of these. I'm going with the Pentel brush pen, uh, just because it's something that I have on hand, and it's just to finalize the kind of thing. I don't really do anything without like a final line art of black, just because it's something that I'm used to, not particularly because it looks any better, but yeah, more to kind of exaggerate some things and just finish the piece, I guess. I think the hair looks slightly better with like the texture of the brush pen. Just trying to give some definition as well and show where the lines are supposed to be, not where they are, because again, this is I don't erase my lines because it's a copy of a photo. It's a copy of a drawing that I done, not the original, because I can't. I tend not to. I can't commit to actually coloring the real thing in case I am so devastated on how much I made a mistake. I know that's probably terrible, but it's just something that I do. And I have cleaned up the lines in Photoshop and things like that before, where, I try and make it cleaner, but it can come off sometimes. Well, I mean, especially if you copy the picture, um, it has a grainy background. So when you put the white in to fix the inconsistencies, you end up with this blotchy effect, which is even worse than the graininess and the lines. So I think that's finished. So I'll put a picture up of the actual finished piece, and you can decide how successful I was, and if anyone has any tips or tricks, that would be fantastic, because I'm not entirely happy with how it turned out. Thanks. Bye.